All right, yeah, buckle up. Because in the latest episode of Lawyers Behaving Like Petty Gremlins, we've got some serious tea boiling over at Project Veritas. Yes, that Project Veritas. The one that's either exposing corruption or staging it, depending on who you ask. But this time, the internal drama is louder than their journalism. Let's start with the quote that broke the internet because honestly, I couldn't make this up if I tried. In a court proceeding, one of Veritas' very own lawyers actually said, and I quote, that they wanted to punch James O'Keefe in his punch face. What even is that? Is it like a punchable face, but with extra zest? I'm not sure, but I do know this. The internet lost its mind, and so did the judge. And that wasn't even the worst part. Another person involved allegedly made a comment about cutting off James's head and eating his heart. Yes, you heard that right. Straight up Aztec ritual energy. And the federal judge? He wasn't amused. He called the communications from Veritas' side hostile and atrocious. Which I didn't know feels like a legal version of y'all are absolutely feral. So let's rewind a bit and put this in context. Because if you've been watching this case from the beginning, you know, things have been spiraling for a while. Ever since James O'Keefe was ousted from Project Veritas, the organization he founded, there's been nothing but lawsuits, power grabs, and a circus of people who all think they're the real victim. And now we're watching it all play out in court, live, with quotes that belong more in a bad soap opera than in federal filings. Now, let's talk about the implications here. Because this isn't just some spicy office drama with a side of violence. This is Project Veritas, a media group that has made a name for itself by pushing boundaries and challenging the mainstream. And now their internal dysfunction is putting all of that into question. How are you going to take down the deep state when your own legal team is out here threatening to do Mortal Kombat fatalities on your founder? And don't think for a second this kind of behavior won't come back to haunt them. Judges hate this kind of stuff. 1, it undermines the court. 2, it makes everybody look like they're treating the law like a school cafeteria food fight. And 3, it gives critics ammo to claim that the whole operation is just a glorified chaos machine. I mean, imagine being a donor to Project Veritas and waking up to this mess in your inbox. You're expecting hidden camera exposes, and instead you debate Veritas, the UFC edition. Not exactly confidence-inspiring. Let's also not ignore the deeper issue here. If this is how their legal team talks in writing, imagine what the Slack chats must look like. This is an organization imploding under the weight of its own ego wars. And James O'Keefe? He's stuck in the middle like a high school ex who showed up to Thanksgiving dinner and everyone's still mad. And honestly, you don't have to love O'Keefe to realize that threatening to punch someone during legal proceedings is unhinged. It's giving "we're losing the case" energy. It's giving desperation. It's giving "we regret sending that email but can't take it back now" realness. Now, you might be wondering, what does the judge do with all this? Well, at this point, he hasn't issued a ruling on sanctions or anything yet. But based on how furious he was, I wouldn't be shocked if he starts handing out fines like Oprah hands out cars. So what happens next? Well, that depends on how many more wild emails show up. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a courtroom mic drop moment soon. But here's what I do know. This is bad PR for a group that's already polarizing. And it's even worse when their enemies can now paint them not just as controversial, but as dysfunctional. You want to be the watchdog of journalism? Cool. Maybe start by not emailing death threats to your coworkers. Just a thought. And let's be real. This isn't the first time Project Veritas has been surrounded by chaos. But now the chaos isn't external, it's coming from inside the house. And with every leaked message, every outrageous courtroom quote, and every new embarrassing headline, they're handing ammo to their critics on a silver platter. So here's the deal. If you want to keep up with the O'Keefe drama, the lawsuits, and the eventual Netflix doc that will absolutely be made about all of this, hit that subscribe button. We're tracking it all punch faces and all. And if you made it this far, tell me in the comments, was that lawyer totally unhinged or just saying what everyone in the room was thinking? Smash that like button If your boss has ever made you want to send a spicy email, but you didn't because you're a functioning adult, all right, I'm out. Stay snarky, stay skeptical, and I'll see you next time with more chaos, corruption, and cringe from the world of media.